the buy and sell amount was pretty high. Um, there was the most high for the day, and then down here it was very low, like not too many orders were going on right here. And so as you can see, whenever price got out of the value area, it immediately bounced back up. And then once the price got out of the value area here, it immediately dropped. And same with when it got down here, reverted back to the value area. Same thing here, whenever it got out of the value area, it went back up.
Welcome traders to a new episode of our funded series. Let's dive into what it takes to pass the two-phase evaluation and get funded up to $400,000. Let me introduce yourself first to everyone formally, and then I want to go over some questions I prepared for you. So I'm really looking forward to have some conversation.
Great, I am too. Yeah, look forward to it. Yes, I'm Josh. I've been day trading for a little over like 6-7 years. I started off with trading stocks, like buying stocks and holding them for a while, and then just over time developed a like for trading forex and learned more about it, and then began to start developing a strategy, things like that. And so yeah, I've been trading for prop firms for close to 2 years now. So yeah.
I know you are from Western Florida. That's right. You're originally from the States.
Correct. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you have a trading hub in the neighborhood, or how did you get involved after all the trading? You just start watching some videos and then some.
Yeah. So I've always been interested in like the stock market and learning how to trade. And then I actually came across forex trading actually through someone on Instagram like 4 or 5 years ago. And so yeah, just kind of before that big boom of trading there. So yeah, just got alerts. Really, when I first got started with forex is I just got alerts from a guy on Instagram, and then yeah, found out that they weren't really good alerts, and he would send out signals and things like that. And but yeah, just from there I started researching more and learning different strategies. And so yeah, just really all through just like a love for the idea of trading and making money on the market. So.
And today you're trading your own strategy, I believe.
Yes, correct. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Have you had some ups and downs in the markets from starting in the beginning?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, in the beginning, I actually did really well. I actually had like a swing trading strategy when I first started off, with my own strategy. Basically, I had a swing trading strategy, and that worked pretty well. And then after you make a good amount of money, and then emotions kick in when you start losing, and so I didn't learn that piece of trading. I did after that, but I kind of went downhill pretty quick. I lost like pretty much all the money that I made, and so that was a pretty difficult time. And then yeah, then I just had to like buckle down and try to figure out how to control your emotions when you're trading, overcome fear, different things like that. So that was the biggest hurdle for me is uh, developing the psychology of trading and the mental preparation when it comes to trading. So.
Yeah. And from swing trading, did you transfer to day trading or scalping, or what kind of style do you follow nowadays?
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, start off with swing trading, and then yeah, now I have a day trading strategy that I use. And so yeah, developed that. Really just the past couple, like 2 years is kind of when I had this idea of a trading strategy, and really just kind of perfected the past couple of years. So So now I do just day trade now. So yeah.
Okay, and you have a company, Try Capital. You are involved with teaching trading, mentoring trading, or how do you connect the two together?
Yeah, just beginning to develop Tri Capital. So we actually have a Discord coming out here soon. But Tri Capital is basically starting off with a Discord, then actually develop a real trading a training program, basically a training course on. It'll be geared strictly to the mental preparation and psychology of trading. Heavy on that piece, and then so really looking forward to that. I have a few guys that are working with me on that, and then the idea is basically to build up capital and to actually do an actual hedge fund. So that's down the road, a couple of years down the road, but that's the goal. So
Okay, well, best of luck for that. That's really
thank you.
motivational achievements if you're going to do those.
Yeah,
And you have an end goal, which is really good. So you have something to reach for.
yeah, yeah, yes, sir. So yeah, looking forward to it. So yeah, Tri Capital is the name of the company, and it's really on the three pillars: body, mind, soul. And it's all about finding balance within yourself. And the strategy I use is all about balance in the market. So it's really the whole company is built on balance. So
Do you think a holistic approach is required for trading?
um, I don't know if it's required, but definitely what I found is beneficial to be holistic, taking a holistic approach. Um, that's how I've approached trading, and I think it's been successful for me. So yeah.
Can you give us some tips on psychology, perhaps? Because you can learn a lot of things online, price action trading, indicator trading, but then when it comes to actually entering and exiting a profitable trade, sometimes you get stopped out, and then you have to overcome maybe fears or FOMO. We can talk revenge trading. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Um,
Right. Yeah, it I always say that trading is really like 89% all mental, and it's because when you're dealing with money, it ties so close to your emotions, and it gets your emotions heightened, and you really have to learn how to take a third perspective of your emotions and think of what you're thinking about and where these emotions are coming from. And when you do that, you're able to really feel out and make good decisions, not make hasty decisions and decisions off of fear, like you were saying, or fear of missing out or fear of losing money. And so, yeah, that's the tricky part is to not let your decisions be based off of fear. And so, yeah, there's a lot of techniques. A lot of it comes down to um, repeating to yourself and getting in your head the right information. Because I think I personally spend a lot of time um, meditating and listening to the right information, whether it be audiobooks or videos or affirmations or things like that. So that I found is very beneficial to kind of get your mind right whenever you go into placing a trade. So
and also keeping out some negative thoughts or
mhm.
these beliefs can help you to accomplish your trading goal, right?
Right, yeah, yeah. So I think the more, and it all comes down to kind of your confidence in your strategy. If you have a successful strategy, then there shouldn't be any reason why you shouldn't not follow your strategy. And so the whole idea is to have a successful strategy and follow it. And there's fear comes along whenever you place a trade. So you tend to, maybe I shouldn't be in this trade. Maybe I shouldn't, it's this battle back and forth of, emotions going on. And so, a lot of it comes down to confidence in your strategy, from what I found, and remind yourself of staying strong to your strategy. So,
when it comes to strategy, what success or what does a successful strategy means to you? Do you have like milestones you have to reach with a strategy, or you have to check certain objectives that a strategy has to meet?
yeah, I think when it comes to trading, I think a lot of the strategies out there, I think they tend to be maybe successful for a short period of time. And, I've always done a lot of back testing and trying to figure out if this is going to withstand years of trading and, months of trading. And so, I think a lot of back testing needs to be done to develop a good strategy. Being consistent in the market is the hardest thing. And so looking for a strategy that is consistent, that is profitable over a long period of time, I feel like is key. So, because the goal isn't to make a whole lot of money real quickly in the market. The goal is to be consistently making money in the market. So,
talking about money and making profits with True Forex Funds, I know you've been trading with us for 2 months now. You started on December 14. Actually, you bought 2 phase 1 accounts, both of them 200K accounts. So you immediately went to full funded. What was the reason behind immediately going to 400K and not just starting out maybe with a smaller account?
I think just full confidence in what I'm doing, and being successful for the past couple of years. I'm also funded with a few other companies as well, so fully funded with other companies. So just fully confident in my skill and abilities to profit in the market. So I'm always, the goal is to trade with more capital so you can make more money. So that was the goal there. So.
Well, I saw that you have easily passed both phases, phase 1, phase 2, and also made some good funded profits. Can you talk a little bit about your journey from evaluation going to funded?
I would say, I think with my strategy, is a high probability win rate, and so I tend to risk more than usual traders. But I'm able to do that because I have like a high win rate. Like my risk is, I usually have the trades I have are usually like a 1-to-1 trade, or 1-to-2, risking 1-to-2 ratio. So I think when I first started trading for prop firms, I would try to rush and pass the evaluation real quickly, so that I could get a funded account real quick and make money. That's the whole goal, is to make money. And so I was rushing it too quickly. So what I found is, whenever you're passing these evaluations, to really take your time with the evaluation and make good trades, and don't be hasty to get into a bunch of trades, and take your time with it. So you have a decent amount of time to pass the evaluation. So just being calm whenever you're in the markets. It really is pretty simple whenever you pass the evaluation, or it was for me. Simple meaning that it was like I placed, minimal trades and passed it. But the execution is difficult. Executing on the right trades is difficult. So the idea of passing was easy for me, but the execution part is difficult. So
And do you have the same emotions when you go for a phase one, phase two account, or when you truly funded and trading on a funded account? Does it change when you become a funded trader?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, definitely. I do experience different emotions whenever you're in phase one and phase two, and even when you get a funded account. Um, and so that is a difficult piece to monitor and keep the correct emotions and thinking process in it. Um, yeah, I think whenever you pass the first phase, you get excited, so you're wanting to. All right, I'm almost there. Like, let me just pass the phase two real quick, and let me just get in a trade real quick and win. And yeah, so making sure you don't do that and keep the same thought process and same you know dedication to it is difficult. So, and then even when you get a funded account, it's even heightened even more. Um, so I try to, whenever you do get phase two and whenever you do get a funded account, I usually take the next day off, and let those emotions kind of settle down, slow yourself down, and take some time to regroup after you pass those phases. So,
And you talked about building confidence or being a confident trader. Do you have some tips, like what kind of positive affirmations do you use to build confidence? What kind of experiences you had to become a confident trader?
mhm. Yeah. So one thing I like to do is write out my affirmation. I have like a journal of affirmations. So really like to write those out every once in a while. I try to do it pretty much daily. And um, so I found that to be very, very helpful. And really to be thinking about those throughout the day, like saying it in my head, things like that. Um, at night as well, doing it at night is pretty powerful. Um, I know when I was first trading and was losing a lot of money there 2, 3 years ago, I actually recorded myself with the basically record myself of saying affirmations, and then I would actually listen to it while I was at work, and like through the whole day, I would just listen to affirmations of, I'm a successful trader, I follow my strategy, that kind of thing, and so that really helped me to really get out of that negative thought process of and like negative thinking. So that's very beneficial. Um, um, yeah, I think those two are really good for me. I found that to be helpful. So
Do you consider yourself more like a technical or more like a fundamental trader, or maybe perhaps both?
yeah, I would say definitely all technical. I do monitor the news, but that is only just to know when news events are happening, so that I can make sure I'm positioned correctly when they, you know, when they happen. Because well, from what I found is my analysis usually is the news events don't change the direction that I think the market's going to be going, or my strategy basically, but it just makes the market move faster in that direction, if that makes sense. So most of the time. Um, so yeah, definitely do it. All my strategy is all technical, but I do monitor the news events. So, yeah.
Do you wish to share some of your technicals with us today?
Yeah. So what? Yeah, my strategy is, like I mentioned earlier, is all off of balance in the market. So a lot of my strategy is using a um, volume profile indicator, and so really I'm monitoring whenever volume picks up on a price, you know, at what price. And so I this is the 30-minute chart, And so the volume profile indicator is this right here and here and here. And so basically what it is showing is whenever volume picks up, whenever the orders pick up, at what price, volume picks up. So instead of volume being down here and showing what time the volume picks up, it shows what price the volume is picking up. And so basically what I look at is this highlighted area of the volume is what they call the value area. And so what I do is I highlight that area. So if you see from here to here, it's highlighted, which means that that's the most traded area. There's most of the order for the day is within this range right here. And so these red lines are the POC lines, so the point of control lines, which means that this price, where this red line is, that is where most of the volume is for that day. And so price always reverts back to the most volume area. And so knowing that you can actually trade and take that advantage in the market by basically knowing that price is going to go revert back to these point of control lines and even these value areas, you can trade with that idea back to these point of control areas. So basically the idea is to buy here, take profit there, back to the point of control area. So that's basically the strategy. There's a lot more that goes into it, but that is the idea behind it.
Can you explain us the blue and the orange parts of these loan profiles?
Yes, so the blue and orange are basically the buy and sell orders. So yeah, so this time right here, the buy and sell amount was pretty high. There was the most high for the day, and then down here it was very low, like not too many orders were going on right here. And so as you can see, whenever price got out of the value area, it immediately bounced back up. And then once the price got out of the value area here, it immediately dropped. And same with when it got down here, reverted back to the value area. Same thing here, whenever it got out of the value area, it went back up. And so that's the idea behind the strategy, is basically trading off of these value areas. So here it was above the value area right there. And so basically sell into here. So.
And can you tell us when will these bars appear? Are they appearing at the opening hours of the day, or they are appearing at every hours or every candle opening time?
Yeah, so they are changing throughout the day. So like beginning of the day, 4 o'clock my time, but beginning of the day, the value area will be really small. So it'll be like right here. That's all the volume for the day. And then as the day goes on, the volume area will build. It'll build up orders. And so this will continue to grow throughout the day. So really you have the best opportunity to place a trade whenever there's more data for the day. So really later in the day is a better opportunity to place a trade, because there's more data you can pull for the day. So
you are located in Western Florida, CST time. So you're really close to New York Open, or maybe you're
correct, yeah.
around that time. Do you specifically trade in the New York time zone or the US session, or do you trade London session as well with these datas?
Yeah, I have found that most of the time I am placing trades in the New York session. That's whenever the best time for what I found. It's a little bit more difficult, like I was saying, to enter a market in the London session just because there's less data for the day, and the volume profile indicator tends to, there's more volume that picks up and less data that you can pull. So New York session, you have the London session to basically use that data from to basically judge of where the market's going to be going and things like that. So,
and then you can compare London session's highest volume to New York sessions projections of
right,
you might be a little bit larger because of US traders might trade much more heavily, and then volume
correct.
may increase. So
Mhm.
you can compare like what was the volume in the London session, and you're expecting at least that or higher volume. And around that time, you can start implementing your trades or look for entries, right?
Correct. Yep. Yep. That's right. Mhm.
Okay. And do you take into account the higher time frame when trading, or the higher time frames bias or trend?
Yeah, I don't. I do occasionally. So at higher time frames, you can actually use the um, volume profile indicator and look at even larger point of control areas. So like, and actually highlight them, like where they are. So like here, there's a point of control area here that hasn't been hit, and then there's one here that hasn't been hit. So the market will eventually hit these two areas. So um, it kind of helps having that in mind, so you can see kind of where the market potentially will be going in long term. But mainly, I just highlight kind of where those are, just so I can know. So
So trading successfully in an intraday, you only need is a 30-minute time frame, volume profile indicator where you have the highest volume in a
mhm.
vertical line, and then you can hold a trade perhaps in the US session or overlapping to the following days London session.
Correct. Yep.
And then for exits, you will compare the previous day's volume profile, or you will open your chart the following day and start searching for maybe London sessions highest volume.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a few different kind of ways I take profit. If it does eventually hit a point of control area, that'll be a take profit. If volume starts to slow down and uh, it doesn't basically it slows down and stops moving in a direction, then I'll take profit. So it's the take profit area is a little bit more tricky. It definitely is a lot more managing your greed within the market and being okay with the profit that you have already. And so, yeah,
Do
if
you
that
take
makes sense.
do you take partial profits sometimes? Like
Um,
like closing 50% of your trade and then letting the other 50% run until the desired area?
yeah, I actually haven't. I haven't in the near future. I haven't really past couple of years. I was playing around that idea um, when I was first trading. But it is a safe route to do. It's safe, safe option, really to take partials and move your stop loss to break even. But I've tended to just take profit um, as a whole and close positions completely. Um, I am trading multiple prop firms and multiple accounts, so it would be a little bit more difficult um, to basically close half positions on all the accounts and then go back and close again and things like that. So really to simplify things, I don't, because I found simplicity whenever you're trading is the best option. Um, and so if you can simplify, anything, that I would do it. So that's kind of how I've approached the market. Having a simple strategy, having a simple stop loss take profit, you know, that's kind of what I've done. So.
Talking about stop loss and maybe entries, what kind of entries do you use? Do you wait for a confirmation like change of character, or you going to place a limit order there and define stop loss? How do you manage your entries?
Mhm. Yeah, so I've actually I've combined a Fibonacci retracement tool, and then also I basically wait for a close of candle, a 30-minute close candle, to enter. Basically, a change in direction and a reversal candle, basically. So, yeah, I think that's really important in the market whenever you're trading is waiting for the candle to actually close. Because a lot of times, a candle can be, shooting up for the stars, and then, the last like couple of minutes, it'll just shoot back down. And, if you trade it off of the price going up a lot, and, it changes your whole thinking process if you don't wait till the candle close. So.
Yeah, so you're always expecting a closing candle, then take confirmations and trade.
Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And for Fibonacci, what kind of levels do you use? Do you have your specific levels from the past couple of years, or do you use the regular 61.80 retracement or 38.2 retracement?
Yeah. So the Fibonacci retracement, I actually use the negative 61.8 to actually, I measure out the, this is kind of something that I've developed that's, I haven't seen anyone else use it before, but basically I measure out the Fibonacci area from here to here, the value area, and basically get entries off of the negative 61.8. So.
And where do you usually place your stop loss, or do you even use a stop loss?
Yeah, stop loss. I initially was using, this is a good way to actually get stop loss, um, from what I found, is using the ATR indicator,
Mhm.
average true range indicator, which is down here, and basically seeing what the ATR is at. So it's at 130, basically doubling that, and that'll be the amount of your stop loss. So 130 times 260, and my stop loss would be 260. So, but recently I've actually just been doing close to a 1-to-1 trade, because I don't like taking losses, and so I really risk a good amount. But my trade is, the stop loss is pretty high, so I really just do a 1-to-1 trade. So.
And let's assume you're using the volume profile in a way that in the US session, you can outline the highest volume time area. And if
Mhm.
the price is trading into this area, you are going to take a reversal trade.
Mhm. Correct. Yeah. So, um, yeah, that's basically the strategy. Yes, is looking at whenever price goes out of the value area, whenever volume is pretty low down here, then I would place a buy, and then same with, a sell here, another buy here. So whenever the volume starts to slow down is whenever, the market will be changing directions, basically. So.
All right. And do you also trade with the trends, like because in the previous days there are some selling options also there.
Mhm.
You would how would you sell in these areas?
Yeah. So really, when you're looking at the POC lines, point of control lines, they're really kind of telling you the direction. So, and this takes a little bit of time to kind of like, yeah. So, yeah, it's really kind of getting the right idea down, and understanding of the movement of the market. Um, And so, and understanding the volume of orders. So I don't know if it makes sense, but basically there's a buildup of orders here. Market comes up, and usually whenever you have a POC form, it means a change in direction, really. And so here you can see a big change of direction. The volume profile is way up here instead of down here. And so the market's going to be changing direction going down. So like here goes down, continues to go down, and then eventually you see this volume shooting up, and you can see the volume is kind of the same areas because there's a big move right here. And so there's a lot of imbalance in the market. So this is just basically gaining that balance back in the market. And so the volume profile, or the POC, finally comes back up higher than these levels. So that's indication that it's changing direction. It's going to continue to go down. So it goes down, kind of more balance here. POC is a little bit lower, so it'll go up. POC is higher, it'll go down. POC is low, it'll go up a little bit. POC is higher, it'll go down. POC is low, it'll go up. So that's kind of the idea of getting direction in the market and trading kind of trends. Really, whenever you have big movement like this, you'll see the market to kind of stabilize itself. So, and that's a good time to actually basically do some simple trading here after those big moves. Because you can see the market came down, and you can enter here a buy, and it'll go up, enter a buy, go up. So.
And then you will close at the POC price.
Correct, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know that you're trading AUD USD. Do you only trade Aussie USD, or do you have something else in your pocket?
Yeah, it's funny. A couple of years ago, I was trading 3 or 4 different pairs, and I basically did analysis of my trades and found that I was most profitable with Australian dollar, US dollar while I was trading that one. I was actually trading like AU, GU, and GJ, I think it was. So I just did back testing and found that Australian dollar, US dollar, I was most profitable from looking at previous trades. And so from there, I just kind of stuck with it. I really like the flow of Australian dollar, US dollar. It's there's always good movement in the market, and it seems to be easier for me to kind of follow the market while looking at this pair. It's not really choppy and not really, it's just like good flowing movements. So that's why I like it. That's why I trade it. So.
And what times do you usually trade?
Yeah. Yeah, most of the time it will be right before the New York session. Is, from what I found, is be the best time to enter for my trading strategy. So.
And what times do you usually exit your trades or close your trades?
Yeah, from what I found, the market actually kind of starts slowing down around noontime. So I really have like noontime my time. So from like 7 to noon. So there's really like a 5-hour window roughly of kind of movement that I get. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
If anyone want to use the volume profile, where can they find it on TradingView?
Yeah, TradingView. It's this indicator here, SVP. You do have to pay for a subscription to actually use this indicator. But yeah, it's just SVP, session volume profile. Yeah, that's what I've been using. There's actually an indicator that you can actually download that gives a little bit more data. But that is, you have to download on actually MetaTrader 4 on a desktop. But it gives a little bit more data. It's a little bit more precise with its POCs and things like that. So it's not necessary, but it is helpful to use. Yeah, so it's a little bit easier to follow than this one, but this is still helpful to, you can still get basic movement here. So
if we can take a little time, can we look into your Fibonacci trades, or Fibonacci retracement tool? If you can tweak
okay.
because that's also
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so the idea is using the negative 61.8. So really you measure out the, zoom in a little bit, the value area. And earlier in the day, the value area was a little bit smaller. So it was actually, well, it's smaller than this. It was like right about here, I think it was. And so really I trade off of, it really gives like a perfect entry point for a buy. And so now that there's more volume and more movement in the market, the value area has built up, just because it's constantly updating and more orders are coming in. But earlier in the day, the volume profile was roughly around there. And basically I trade off of the 61.8 area. So I'm using Fibonacci retracement, totally different than any other trader I've seen, but that's basically how I use it. So
can we look into some other examples as well?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a little more difficult just because the market kind of moves differently, or the volume profile is updating throughout the day. But roughly, you can still get an idea. But the value area changes, later, as the market continues to move and stuff like that. So, but roughly, basically, I would trade off of the 61.8 there. I think if I remember correctly, the value area was a little bit more down here, I think it was. But yeah, that's basically the idea. Some days it doesn't work out correctly, um, but some days you can get like really good entries. So like here, that buy, I didn't get this trade because it was like big news event. And so that movement there was just like super quick. I mean, you would have to like, which I usually don't do. I actually never do is place limit order and things like that. So that movement was really, really quick. So I couldn't have entered that manually, but that would be another example there. This one, I do remember this. I took this trade actually. The volume profile, you can use previous day or current day. This day, I entered right at pretty much at the start of the day. So like, obviously these lines here are distinguishing days. So this is the start of the day. Market came down and bought it and wrote it up here. And you can see it reverted back to this point of control line here. So basically I just measured out previous volume area here and here and entered there and wrote up here. So very different way of using Fibonacci.
Very different way, but it looks good. Like you're taking your trades where trend following traders are taking, they take profits. So you reverse them. So.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
For this specific trade we were looking for, can you show us where you would place your stop loss if you use the ATR indicator?
Yes. So this current day here, let's see. So it's roughly here. early in the day, it was there-ish. But basically, take the trade um, here, somewhere around there, and let's see, ATR is 130, so 260. So let's see, so that would be 79, 679. So it'd be like right about there. So really, this could be a pretty big trade if it does go all the way up here. But I'm usually trading only to the top of the value area. So if I'm buying, I'm usually taking profit at the top of the value area or the POC. But the POC changed directions; it's down here. So obviously, I'm not going to like close out here because I know there's going to be a lot more volume and movement. But yeah, that's the idea. So it's usually only a 1-to-1 or 1 to maybe 2 trade. I could have held it, which be a good option, but you never know if the volume is going to slow down tremendously and stop. So I usually just take profit roughly around the top of the value area.
Mhm.
So,
Can you also show me another example on another trade on how to place the stop loss?
yeah, yeah, definitely. So here to here. Sorry. There we go. Let's see. So 140 times 2, 280. So that is like 3-1 roughly. So right about there. Um, and it didn't quite make it all the way to the point of control, but you still get good movement there. You still get 1.5, risking 1 to 1.5 roughly. So
Great, great. Um, can we look into your True Forex Funds dashboard? What do you think? What was the most outstanding data or figure you wanna tell us that any new trader should follow?
let's see.
Maybe one of your paid out funded account statistics.
Yeah, so profit was like 11,000 or so.
I see that you have the profit by holding time above, that you hold your trades 1 to 4 hours. I wanted to ask you about when you open, when you close, because holding trades 1 to 4 hours will probably reap benefits in pips. So you get some good pips. And then I was also interested that you don't have a 50% or above win rate, and you have a fairly low risk to reward ratio, but all of your trades are looking consistent. And now I can understand with your strategy how you're making these consistently. But compared to the win rate and average risk to reward, these are not so outstanding, but with the strategy you follow, it's consistent, which is really good to see.
Yeah.
I think a lot of traders are looking for consistency and being disciplined in the market, which comes more of experiencing of what works and what's not.
Yeah, definitely. So to be honest, I actually haven't looked at the dashboard really much. But I should actually take advantage of this now that I'm looking at it, because I can get helpful data from it for sure. So one thing I've noticed is Friday is usually the hardest day to trade for me. For some reason in the market, I don't know, Friday just seems to be, it might just be people are greedy at the end of the week and market moves, from what I've seen recently, just kind of weird on Friday. So so I really only had 2 wins on Friday. So,
but Thursday is really good trading there for you. Like Thursdays are
Hmm.
profitable. You take 8 wins.
Yeah.
You had 3 losses, but compared, you have more wins than losses. So that's a good
Right.
that's a good day. I like that your best trade was $16,000. How did you feel when you made those kind of profits?
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, very nice. Um, yeah, it was it's always good having a nice trade like that. So yeah.
Can we scroll down to the bottom?
Yeah.
Because there we have your trades, and I could see that you are following similar lot sizes, or you follow
Hmm.
between 10, 20, 30 trading volumes.
Hmm.
Do you stick to these based on your risk, or um, how do you define what kind of lot size you are going to use
Lot
for a
size.
specific trade?
Yeah. So I don't try to get too specific on risking a certain amount per trade, just because I want to make it simple as possible. Because I am managing a lot more accounts and things like that, so the less time I have to think about and figure out lot sizes and get exact numbers, stuff like that takes more time and more stress and stuff like that. So just added work. So I tend to be kind of whole numbers just to make things easier. Um, but obviously, if this is the only account I would be trading, I would be being more precise in that area. So, um, but I'd get rough range, rough estimate as far as like how much I'm risking. So
Do you have a defined percentage you're risking on perhaps the True Forex Funds account with a single trade?
yeah, per trade, I'm risking um, at most like 3%. Usually risking like 2%. Um, so that gives me an option to really take like two negative. If things come to worst, I'm able to take two losses. So if that makes sense, so 2% plus two, times two is 4%, and 5% is the max you can lose. So I really keep it pretty simple in that area of just risking 2 maybe 3% per trade. So.
What would you recommend for anyone who's starting trading? What percentage they should risk at first?
Yeah, I risk a lot, so I wouldn't recommend risking that much. I would risk, yeah, one at most 2%. So, and maybe even less than that, like, 0.5% per trade. So, because it is beneficial to do that, just to take your time in the market and um, it's easier to manage your emotions whenever you're not taking big losses. So I would definitely recommend that for sure.
Okay. And with confidence, you can build up your lot sizes and trading
Right.
volume. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Okay.
And the more and more accounts start managing and the more money you start managing, there's added stress involved. There's added, your emotions get heightened even more. And, you know, it's all about keeping in tune with your emotions and knowing where they are. So um, that's what I found is been the best help to monitor that and stuff like that. So um, always keeping that in check whenever you're placing a trade, to not be risking too much, to deter your mindset, things like that. So
Yeah. By the way, you're managing a lot of accounts. How do you do it practically? Do you use a copy trader, or you have to watch into a lot of screens and watch all of your accounts at the same time? How do you do it practically?
yeah, I really actually just have the accounts on my phone and just place the same trade on all the accounts. So it takes a little bit of time. I don't use a copy trader for funded accounts. because I think most of the funded accounts don't allow that to use a copy trader. But I do have, different personal accounts and things like that that I have. But I'm placing all the same trades on all the accounts. So I just manually go in, switch accounts, place a trade, switch accounts, place a trade. So it takes a little bit of time. But yeah, that's why I try to keep things very simple so I can just enter them all roughly at the same time. So
Well, eventually you are placing maximum two trades on True Forex Funds account regarding if you're managing 2% risk per trade. So daily two trades are not that much, but we allow copy trading. So if you want to use a copy trader, feel free to use it at True Forex Funds.
okay, thanks, thank you. Yeah, cool.
How do you feel about joining True Forex Funds, working with a proprietary company, getting funded, making some profits? How does it feel like? What's your experience about it?
Yeah, really great experience. Really great. Yeah, the time of getting the accounts was extremely fast. The time of getting the payout was really fast. Um, yeah, really, there was no hiccup at all as far as getting the accounts, going through the whole process, and um, getting the withdrawal. It was really seamless and quick and perfect. So yeah, really um, no everything was perfect. So it was great, great experience. I had bad experience with other prop firms before about paying out things like that. So it's great to work with a good company like you guys. So
Yeah. Thank you, Josh. I really appreciate your words, and I
definitely,
think everyone else in
yeah.
the company. If someone would hear about True Forex Funds at the first time, what
Mhm.
would you tell to them?
Um, yeah, I would say definitely would be a great company to work with for sure. I would recommend them. I would recommend to work with you guys for sure. Um, I think the response time for everything is great. So yeah, there's no negative that I've experienced with you guys. So all positive for sure. So
Okay, and Josh, where are you looking forward to the future? I know you want to build up a hedge fund and you're working on multiple accounts. Where do you see yourself beside these in the future?
yeah, I love the trading industry. I've this is what I've been wanting to do for since I was young is to be in the trading industry and make money in the market. So yeah, my whole goal is to um, develop this training program. So we're in kind of the building process of doing that, and that's going to be really beneficial, I think, for a lot of traders. And so, and then taking that and advancing it even more within the hedge fund is a goal of mine. So keeping it in house and keeping the strategy in house, and um, basically yeah, building a hedge fund around that. So yeah, just gaining more capital, more and more capital throughout the years, and hopefully getting a you know $1 billion hedge fund is the goal. So
Can you tell us about your challenges you face as a business owner? Because, trading is also a business. At least we have to
yeah,
think about it as a business. So
correct.
it might be valuable to share about your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I kind of had a crazy couple years there before I got really successful with trading, with some business deals I had working with business people. So I was working with a guy, and we started. I actually got into a lot of debt there because we did like a basically did a lot of credit under my name to basically fund these other businesses that we were doing, and they all went bad. And so I lost a lot of money and was in a lot amount of debt. And so I was in like close to $200,000 worth of debt. And um, what I've learned from that experience was picking the right people that you work with is like just super, super important whenever you're in business. Um, if you start doing business with the wrong people, it will never end well. Um, so going through that, that's probably one of the most important things I've learned is picking the right people to do business with. Um, but yeah, through the business process, like I actually before that I owned like a dry cleaning business. Kind of bizarre, but I took the whole approach of like trading actually to business before I even really um, got really in depth into trading. But I purchased the business and basically changed some marketing things, changed how we ran the business, and actually sold it as a profit. And so really made most of the money off buying and selling. So I bought really at a low price. I negotiated the price with them. I found a really good deal for the business, and then bought it and sold it to another company a couple of years after. And so, yeah, there's a different approach to owning a business is a trader's approach to owning a business. So it's pretty neat. So.
And where do you see the prop trading industry is going to be in the future?
Um, Yeah, I think prop firms are an awesome business. I think just in the past couple of years, they've kind of, really gotten real big in a lot of companies out there. But I think the ones that stick around, that pass, being open for a couple of years and are, you know, trustworthy like you guys and actually are consistent and things like that are going to stick around, and outlive the ones that are not. So, um, but yeah, it's very interesting concept. I do like the idea of a prop firm. I think the prop firm business has always been an interest of mine. I think more so along the lines of just getting the data from all of the traders that are working, that are trading for the firm. Um, so using that data from other traders um, in a way to, make profits is pretty neat idea of, I don't know, I'm sure exactly what you guys do in the background, but, developing a AI system of, how that works and things like that is, seems like it would be a really neat project to work on. So it's neat.
Yeah, it's a really interesting project also work in the background, see and help traders succeed with our funding services. And then it's really good to see people who are coming from just learning Forex trading on YouTube and then making all the way to the funded accounts and making some profit. So it's good when
Mm-hmm.
they profit because our company also profits with them as well.
Right. Yeah.
And then we cover all the funded losses if they would be any, but we hope that our traders will manage their risk properly. That's why we believe in them, and that's why we are funding them.
Yeah.
How did we help you, Josh, with our services?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely helped me with getting more capital to trade with. And um, yeah, basically, making money. So it's great to work with you guys and really I enjoy the opportunity to actually work with you guys. So it's great to yeah, I feel like that should be the whole goal for a trader is to get good at trading, and then once they do work for the you guys and other prop firms is you know their whole goal shouldn't be, oh, I need to make a lot of money real quickly and um and um make a lot of money real quickly, or I need a lot of money to actually trade with right now. I can't make money if I don't have money. But just work on your strategy, work on your trading and get consistent, and then start working with you guys, and you can you know make good living, make a lot of money. So um yeah, it's amazing company you guys have. So it's
Yeah,
very neat.
we also advocate that study first and trade next. So
Right.
that's what we are
Yep.
here. Any last words you want to share with us, Josh, before we end the interview today?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say focus on being consistent. It's True Forex Funds is a great company to work with. I would recommend trading with you guys. If you guys are interested in getting connected with me, follow me on Instagram, _Josh Lee, LEE, and yeah, I think that's about it. So,
Okay. Thank you, Josh, for being here. Everyone who just watched us, hope you enjoyed Josh' insightful tips on volume profiling, indicators, ATR management for stop losses, and many more we have watched. And stick around because there's going to come more from Josh eventually in the long run.